Coming up, the UI prepares to say goodbye to Bruce Harreld.
And later, the Pedmal benches get a new look.
Welcome to DITV Now, your flash update on all the biggest headlines coming out of the Daily Iowan newsroom. I'm Lauren Johnson.
And I'm Shivan Shahuja. Bruce Harreld announced Thursday that he would leave the UI May 16th. Harreld announced his retirement in October, but said he would stay on until the Board of Regents found a replacement. The Regents will name Harreld's successor on April 30th. Until the new president begins, UI graduate college dean John Keller will act as the interim president. Keller is the longest-serving graduate dean in the Big Ten. Stay tuned to DITV for more updates on the presidential search.
Long-term care facilities were hit hard at the beginning of the pandemic. DITV News reporter Paige Ho talked to the Oak Knoll retirement residents about how Johnson County is recovering.
In November 2020, more than 140 care facilities in Iowa reported COVID-19 outbreaks, but as of today, there is only one facility in the state with a COVID-19 outbreak. Long-term care facilities were measured against county positivity rates to determine if they had an outbreak. They also looked at their ability to keep COVID-19 infection rates and mortality low among residents. The Oak Knoll retirement residence in Iowa City has not reported any COVID infections within its residents. They have been practicing and following the state health regulations since March 2020.
We also in Johnson County started meeting daily right away with emergency management services and Johnson County Public Health. So all the nursing homes, all the assisted livings, and then Oak Knoll's a continuing care retirement community. So we have all three levels of care.
The center is also on a good pace of keeping up with the vaccination process.
So we've already completed our vaccine clinics at Oak Knoll. We worked with Walgreens and had 4 clinics here. We vaccinated 100% of our residents and 93% of our staff. So I'm working on that last 7%.
Bergen Jackson said that Johnson County Public Health helped them stay out of outbreaks as long as they could. All nursing homes in Johnson County are still following safety procedures, such as restricting visitors' access and cleaning and disinfecting frequently. From the University of Iowa, Paige Ho, DITV.
Iowa City's Pedmal benches are getting their annual makeover. Local artists can pitch their ideas for new bench designs on the Downtown District website. Since 2012, the Benchmarks program has let local artists take the reins on benches designs. If chosen to paint a bench, artists will receive $350 and a gift card to Blick Art Materials. The application closes April 9th at midnight. Check back in April to hear more about how this program enhances the Iowa City art scene.
Yesterday, the Iowa soccer team fell to the Penn State Nittany Lions 1-0. The Hawkeyes had a slow start in the first half after an early Penn State goal. Junior mid Josie Durr led the Hawkeyes with 3 shots, and freshman goalie Macy Enneking had 6 saves. The Hawkeyes had strong offensive plays in the second half, but it wasn't enough to secure a tie game. The Hawkeyes faced the Purdue Boilermakers this Sunday for their last home game at 1 p.m.
The Iowa volleyball team is gearing up to end their regular season. The Hawkeyes currently sit at a 3-13 conference record and are looking to secure more wins under their belt this weekend.
And just giving it our all. We got nothing to lose, so why not go out and chip away some wins and things like that.
The Hawkeyes have had a challenging season but are still improving with each game.
You will receive a challenge every weekend, and so it's about continue to understand that we're developing confidence and assurance as we're still a young team going through the conference.
The Hawkeyes will face the Michigan State Spartans this weekend in Carver Hawkeye Arena. Tune back in on Monday's live show for a recap of the match.
The Hawkeye baseball team is hoping to bounce back after dropping their first home series against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Big Ten Pitcher of the Week Trenton Wallace will take the mound today and is looking to add to his 7 shutout streak. Wallace has only allowed 4 hits over the past 13 innings pitched. Iowa is traveling to Columbus, Ohio to take on the Buckeyes and the Maryland Terrapins. The Hawks have split the last 2 games against the Buckeyes and are hoping to advance their conference record in this series.
In his first news conference yesterday, President Joe Biden addressed the recent efforts by GOP lawmakers to pass bills restricting voting. President Biden criticized the bills after being asked if he was concerned about Democrats losing the 2022 midterms.
I'm convinced that we'll be able to stop this, because it is the most pernicious thing. This makes Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle.
U.S. Senate Democrats have proposed their own election reform bill. This bill updates voting methods and would put independent groups in charge of redrawing congressional districts. President Biden has shown support for this bill, but it might not pass the Senate.
March 26th is the birthday of renowned playwright and University of Iowa graduate Tennessee Williams. DITV reporter Oliver Wilhelm dug into his legacy.
Before he became famous for his plays The Glass Menagerie and A Streetcar Named Desire, Tennessee Williams was Tommy, a college student trying to find himself at his third college, Iowa.
What are you going to do with your life? How are you going to make money from that? And I think he was encountering a version of that, so he was kind of under pressure to work. So he was in and out of college based on whether he could afford it or whether he was getting any support for it. But by the time he came to Iowa, he was pretty serious about trying to become a writer.
Williams took more than just a degree with him. His strong desire to experiment and rebel against the prescriptive playwriting style championed by then head of department Edward Mabee stayed with him all his life. Though the Iowa City of his time is now gone, his plays that pushed the boundaries of what was allowed to be shown on stage left lasting marks on the university and its students.
His courage to be able to recognize these really sort of terrifying ideas, to bring them to the stage has definitely blazed a trail to recognize the fact that there are things that we need to be able to discuss in a forum that theater can provide.
His influence even reached the university's theater department.
You may find that your writing is going to lead you in directions that are not conventional. And although we are more supportive of that than maybe E.C. Mabee was, that is a little bit of the legacy of having had a writer like Tennessee Williams graduate from the program.
After leaving Iowa, he came to terms with his own homosexuality, an underlying theme of his works. He died in 1983, victim of a drug addiction that had consumed much of his adult life. This would have been his 110th birthday. From Iowa City, this is Oliver Wilhelm, DITV.
The rainy weather continues today. Today will be mostly cloudy with a high of 54 and a low of 44 later tonight. On Saturday, we'll see more rain and thunderstorms with a high of 63 and a low of 35. The sun will come back out on Sunday. Thanks for tuning in to DITV Now.
Check back on Monday morning at 8:30 for our live newscast. We'll have the latest on the University of Iowa, Iowa City, and Hawkeye Nation. From Iowa City, I'm Lauren Johnson.
And I'm Shivansh Ahuja. Have a great day.